referee, Philip Nunez. Second referee, Daniel Guian. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The action continues here at the Playtime Philoil Center in San Juan. This is the Shakey Super League 2026 National Invitationals. This is match number 6 of the preliminaries between the Perfect Set Dreammakers and their opponents, One LaSalle.
Set to take their first game here in the 2026 Shakey Super League Juniors National Invitationals is a Perfect Set Dreammakers. Again, this team is just one of the couple of international guest teams that we have here. And mind you, this is the first time, Richie, that we'll be having some international teams during the National Invitationals, plus yung mga junior teams natin.
You know, I think it's very refreshing to see new faces because new faces means we see new talent, and I guess it's really where the girls will have so much exposure within themselves and with other people. So this is really the perfect training ground for not just the international schools but also our schools here in Manila to learn from each other and also become friends maybe outside of the court.
In just a moment, we'll be meeting our starting 6, so make sure to stay tuned.
The starters. First, for Perfect Set Dreammakers. Beginning with their team captain, outside hitter number 8, Niceman Manalad. Another outside hitter number 3, Victoria Anderson. Middle blocker number 5, Naomi Barbosa. Setter number 9, Nina Villajoaquin. Another middle blocker number 11, Caitlin Callahan. Opposite hitter number 21, Maya Barrera. Starting libero is number 1, Hannah Reyes. And the head coach of Perfect Set, Henry Valiente Jr. And now presenting the starters for One LaSalle. Beginning with their team captain, outside hitter number 17, Kylie Celada. Middle blocker number 2, Maya Valdez. Opposite hitter number 9, Yayen Alemania. Middle blocker number 10, Cheska Bolivar. Outside hitter number 12, Sofia Inandan. Setter number 15, Sofia Limpot. Starting libero is number 19, Mika Mendoza. And the head coach of One LaSalle, Jeremiah Monreal. This is the Shakey Super League 2026 National Invitationals. Best of luck.
It's going to be a showdown between Perfect Set Dreammakers going up against One LaSalle, who's hoping to bounce back in today's game. First set of players For perfect set Dreammakers, we're joined by Villa Joaquin, Barbosa, Kailahan, Anderson, Manalada, Herrera, Reyes, for Juan Lasal, Limpot, Valdez, Bolivar, Celada, Alemania, Nandan, and Mendoza. This is the 2026 Shakey Super League Juniors and National Invitationals live in the Playtime Phil Oil Arena. Daphne Cristobal with Richie Cordero, and we open things up with appreciating first this cute uniform, the pastel purple uniform of the perfect set Dreammakers.
You know, I think it's really refreshing to see different colors come out of the uniforms. And the girls really look good in it. But again, that was a good first point for Juan Lasal. Definitely what you want to see starting their redemption game for today's match. Limpot now on deck to serve.
Imagine Richie during their first game in the opening day. They were up during the second set by, I think that was more than 5 points. But then all of a sudden, St. John's Institute created their own personal run. It was an extended one that really left them having that heartbreaker during game number 1. But an early access denial courtesy of Maya Valdez.
That was a great setup for perfect set Dreammakers, but Valdez was dominating in her position for that block.
Yeah, Maya Valdez, one of the middle blockers from the Salle Santiago Zubel. So we see this time around, Coach Jeremiah is also calling the shots for Juan Lasal.
I think he was absent in their previous game. He was actually in the hospital, so it's very nice to see him back inside the ring. But this time, perfect set Dreammakers will be victorious. That was Barbosa to get that hit. The 1-to-1 with the middle blocker also of Juan Lasal.
Perfect ball placement for Naomi Barbosa, drawing first blood for their team.
Another point for perfect set Dreammakers. So I like how the game just started, pero walang bumabagsak na bola. So we already see them having that kind of intensity to really want to win this game. So 2-2 now for our score, and our first service ace from Anderson from the perfect set Dreammakers.
What a way to open things up in your debut here in the tournament, as Victoria Anderson just delivered her first service ace. It was a float serve this time. Better ball reception for Lasal. Maya Valdez with an early response.
And that's what we want to see, that coming from a service ace, you have to really adjust quickly with how you receive the ball. And that's why we are able to get those set plays from Valdez and, of course, set up by Limpot.
And I think also one of the strategies for sure for Coach Jeremiah is to really allow his players from the Lasal Santiago Zubel to gel.
You know, these players have been with him ever since they were grade school. So, alam, laki na sa kanya yan. But again, let's look at this point from perfect set Dreammakers. Another great placement. Actually, it was off the block. So, I like how they come in knowing that they have blockers and hindi sila natatakot to get the ball.
But this time around, that service sailed out. That was a beautiful back set earlier for the perfect set Dreammakers. Really a solid introduction. Just their first game here in the tournament. We've witnessed out of all the 7 teams that we had, 6 teams already played during the opening game. So ito pa lang yung unang laro para sa panig ng perfect set Dreammakers.
And that ball will land straight on that line. What perfect placement there for perfect set Dreammakers.
This time, we will feel the presence of Maya Barrera scoring her first point here on this match. And they take over by a single point, 5-4. And one of the advantages that we can clearly see for perfect set Dreammakers, Richie, is their length, their height.
You know, I think with the scoring now, we have 1 point from Anderson, 1 from Barrera, and 1 from Barbosa. So we see that not only is there one player that's working for all of them, but they're working together as a team. So double contact violation there called on perfect set Dreammakers. So that point will be awarded to Juan Lasal.
That was Kalyahan misread that one-hand set by Limpot, the main playmaker of the Lasal Santiago Zubel. So just an exchange of scoring so far as an underhand set. Deep cross picked up by Celada. Siya ang papalo, deep cross. No one was there.
That was a good angle for Celada on the open side of the court.
Kylie Celada, the team captain of the Lasal Santiago Zubel, and even here for Juan Lasal.
Sophia Inandan serves again.
Fortunately, that will sail out for Sofia Inandan, a costly one actually. Especially in the first set, Richie, as much as possible, you would want to create that separation.
Yes. You know, usually they say it's the first set, you're always just warming up, but you had that time to warm up already. So as much as possible, you want your basics to be established as much as possible.
But good thing her teammate Cheska Bolivar was quick to redeem that point for Juan Lasal. Deadlock at 7, couple of deadlocks that we are seeing here in the opening set. Again, it's going to be a week straight of some intense youth volleyball action here in the Playtime Phil Oil Arena. So make sure to grab your tickets and join us here to witness itong ating mga talented athletes.
You see Lasal really powering through their attacks, but medyo nabati ko doon an error there for Juan Lasal.
It's like Juan Lasal doesn't like those slow sets. And right now, PSD will be taking over 8-7 in our first technical timeout.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Only and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
'26 Shakey Super League Juniors National Invitationals, still live here in the Playtime Phil Oil Arena. It is the perfect set Dreammakers who took control prior that first technical timeout. But Alemania getting that point after that error earlier.
I know, mabilis din bumawi itong Juan Lasal, so you see that she really adjusted herself with the set this time around. That was also her first point of today's game.
Another deadlock here, 8-all. Tried to activate the middle, but
That set was a bit too high, medyo nalunod dun yung spiker. That's why that spike rather went out.
Still serving.
of course for Juan Lasal, they're led by Coach Ed. Richie, you mentioned very familiar coach. Itong si Coach Ed.
Yes, Coach Ed and Coach Maya actually. So Coach Ed was from Zubel before, and then he went to the LaSalle Green Hills, and Coach Maya stayed with Zubel. So they're both very, they prioritize a lot of basics when it comes to playing volleyball, and I guess that's their strategy, and that's why it's been working for Juan Lasal.
I like that you mentioned about the basics, no? Especially that they're leading high school talents, and even Coach Ed led the last under 16 last year, wherein they finished 5th place, or in that second ABC Asian Women's in the under 16, created that history. And speaking of the other side, we see Barbosa earning another point from the middle. Earlier, it sailed out. This is a better setup job. That connection they needed to earn that point.
So again, you really see the maturity when it comes to these players. It doesn't matter if they're just high school players, but you see them bouncing back right away, and you see a service ace coming from Joaquin of the Perfect Set Dreammakers. That is their second service ace already for the set.
So far, Richie, it has been just a perfect set. Dreammakers were able to garner points from the service area. Although that was sort of a commentator jinx. Pero itong one Lasal, wala pa silang nakukuhang mga service aces.
Yeah, so I think even though they don't have service aces, but also they have one service error, so they will need to capitalize more on getting those power serves, and no other than, of course, Limpot, who's a setter of medyo malakas kasi mag-service ang mga setter, diba?
Let's see if we will get some aces from Limpot. And an ace is denied. I like how they celebrated that point.
This is Anderson blocking Alemania from the outside side of the court, and you see them really happy and celebrating, and that's the kind of energy you want to bring inside the court. Meanwhile, LaSalle medyo is becoming challenged now that a more aggressive attack line is coming from the Perfect Set Dreammakers.
Naomi Barbosa from Rieta Valley High School, also playing for Bruce Volleyball Club, creating her own name here in the tournament and forcing one Lasal to call for a quick break.
Naintindihan ba? O bakit tayo nagmamadali? Nama, out of system yung medyo off yung sinip, bitin yung set. Bakit natin binibirit? Dahan-dahanin nyo lang, lagay lang muna. O lumalayo, tayo nagkakalat, hindi naman, wala silang ginagawa masyado extra. Tara.
That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109. Load now.
With the intention of slowing down the game, Coach Maya called that timeout to just remind his girls na huwag tayo nagmamadali. Let's not rush into things because they're not doing anything extravagant. They're just hitting the ball. So I think it's the time for them to really compose themselves and attack just like that. Coming from Valdez, that is already her third point, this time from the middle side for a quick attack.
I like that decision making made by Limpot after that timeout. Going to her go-to player right now, the one with the hot hands, Maya Valdez, the 15-year-old. Her sister is actually also a volleyball player, a playmaker. So her ate really inspired her to further get some experiences in the volleyball world. Kung di ako nagkakamali, parang nagti-tennis din ata itong si Maya. But she told me na, not sure if it's tennis, basta may isa pa siyang sport na nilalaro, but she really opted to focus on playing volleyball. Para daw hindi parang maligaw yung football.
Very talented and sporty girl. But first, let's see, bumawi naman dito ang Perfect Set Dreammakers. That is Manyala, their team captain, who decides to break that momentum made by Juan Lasal. That is also her first point in today's game.
Yep, some back-to-back points earlier converted by Maya Valdez. So far, Maya Valdez for Juan Lasal with 4 points here in the tournament, but Perfect Set Dreammakers is trying to hold on in this 1-point advantage. So those services hurting Juan Lasal.
I think they're trying to put in more power and intention to get service aces, but rather it's being turned into errors because of the control. So that's something they will have to limit in their next sequences.
And I think for Perfect Set Dreammakers, Richie, it was also a big help for them to get experiences, tune up games against schools like Adamson,
LaSalle, of
and
course.
not the high school teams, but
The
yung
college. Yeah, the best of the best. You get the systems of Adamson and LaSalle. Those are two of the systems or volleyball systems that really focuses on defense, especially here in the Philippines. So I'm sure they gathered a lot of new information and new skills from the collegiate level. Good effort there.
That's a point from Kylie Celada.
That is her second point coming from Celada, our team captain for Juan Lasal. This time, a beautiful cross-court attack.
I love the describe itong si Kylie Salada as a clutch queen for LaSalle. I've covered a couple of games already for the LaSalle Santiago Zubel, and I must say, a reliable player itong si Kylie Salada, and a much needed service ace, the first one for one LaSalle. And now they take over 16 to 15.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
Back in action here for our match number 2 in SD. Between perfect set Dreammakers against one LaSalle. Tables have turned. Since one LaSalle is now in the upper hand by 2 points, courtesy of their team captain, Kylie Salada, with her 3rd point.
You know, it's great that coming from that timeout, they've been performing very differently, and they're really taking in the words of Coach Maya Monreal. Of course, you have to listen to your coach, because coming from the outside perspective, as players, sometimes it gets too fast. So getting those words of wisdom and observations from the outside will really help your game inside if you just listen and execute it properly.
But now the biggest lead
Just remember,
extended
right,
at
the
3
way that we
points for
started this
LaSalle.
game was all confident, going for things. As soon as you make a mistake, let it go. I see you guys thinking about it too much, right? You make a mistake, next ball. Okay, same thing. If we're swinging, swing to those deep courts, right? The net is undefeated. What does that mean? If you hit into the net, you'll never win a point. Make sense? Clear the net, score a point. Okay, let's go. Come on.
That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109. Load now.
Coach Henry just reminding his girls about the net being undefeated. They have to be more purposeful and intentional when it comes to hitting their balls, especially on the deep sides of the court, as it was working for them in the first half of this match, or this set rather, and to really just get out of being frozen after making a mistake. And I think you need that kind of bounce back mentality, and we'll see how the girls will adjust in the sequence. But Salada again truly has warmed up already in today's match. That is already her 4th attack point coming from the outside.
That Smart Power Up play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109. Load now. Some loaded services handed by one LaSalle, but this time opted to go for that drop.
Beautiful placement there for Villa Joaquin. You know, a while ago they were saying how Juan LaSalle has been very aggressive in the net, and I guess that's how she really plays. She knows how to vary her attacks and drop it right behind the blockers. Out of system play here for perfect set Dreammakers.
Scramble defense, attack from the back. Villa Joaquin setting it up to the open. Great dig, courtesy of Nina. Limpot to Bolivar. Great reflexes for both teams. Longest rally in the opening set. Villa Joaquin. Back row hit, high one, challenging that floor defense of Sofia. Off speed by Anderson won't work. Opportunity here for the perfect set Dreammakers. Anderson using the fingertips of her blockers. Salada, sharp one. Great chase. Freebie for the ladies in green. Salada, combination play. What a dig.
What a rally. Everyone just giving their full effort here. Limpot for a quick attack, pero nabuhay pa rin yan. Anderson once again.
Ball tap, set back on the other side. This time, That did not go across the net, but what an effort for both teams. But it is Juan Lasal who will be earning that point.
Great intention there to drop the ball, especially because she had two blockers in front of her. But I guess it was also just miscalculation on the side of Anderson for the perfect set Dreammakers. But kudos to both teams for that really long rally. We saw a lot of effort coming out of that rally.
Kita rin natin, no? Itong si Coach Henry Valiente, the head coach of the perfect set Dreammakers. Really clapping his hands despite not earning that point from that long rally earlier. Now Juan Lasal is in advantage by 5
right?
points, 21-16.
We're hitting it too low, right? So if this is the net, if this is the tape, we can go 1 inch over it. We at least have to clear it by at least 2-3 feet. Does it make sense? When there's blockers up, their hands are up there, okay? So go higher with your tip shots. Got it? Okay, come on, let's go.
That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109 and load now.
Coach Henry looking for an adjustment when it comes to making their spikes actually higher than the blocker's hand. So usually coaches would advise their players na sampalin mo or make it go to the other side or make it go to the side to hit out. But his advice is actually to hit higher than them. So I think it's also because he believes in the abilities of the girls to jump higher and really use their height as an advantage. So we'll see as Anderson hits this one.
Great take from behind by Salada. Freebie from Mendoza. And that was a miss set.
Point for Lasal.
For Juan Lasal, they only needed one timeout to have some words of encouragement coming from Coach Maya to be awake here in the opening set.
Good serve there as Celada earns her 5th point. That is the 2nd service ace for Juan Lasal.
This serve of the game is brought to you by Shakey's. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken at Mojo's now. So Samantha Gingab is inserted in for the very first time.
For perfect set Dreammakers, I'm looking for that energy, yung celebration nila kanina eh.
Yeah.
I think that will help their game today, and as we see it, their celebration, and that's how you really uplift the energy inside of the court. Let's see that play once again. It's a 1-2 play actually. That is a new substitution also from Coach Henry. That is the 4th service error for perfect set Dreammakers. 4 points also given freely to Juan Lasal.
Aquino
Juan Lasal now at
subbed
set
in
point.
as Juan Lasal is already at set point opportunity 24-17. 7-point advantage after being down by 3 points earlier. Talking about Juan Lasal. Back row hit.
Out of system play, so a back row attack. That will sail out for Celada. Still alive here. There is no more room for any service errors. They will need to stay composed to lengthen this set and catch up. Limpot to open. It's Alemania.
Miscommunication for the perfect set Dreammakers. Limpot picking Maya Valdez in that sequence. Another miscue.
Great
but
effort here for Reyes. Also of perfect set Dreammakers. That was two attacks coming from Juan Lasal that she saved, and this was a very, very smart play for the perfect set Dreammakers to put it on the other side with a short dig. Miscommunication there for Juan Lasal.
2 set points saved already for the perfect set Dreammakers, trying to hang on tight in the opening set. Alemania looking for a finish, not yet.
Better set there.
Anderson Slicing it through, battle at the net, ball saved. Ball is still playable. You go to the middle, but unfortunately that will be a net touch violation called against Perfect Set Dreammakers. That was too aggressive from that hit by Naomi Barbosa, so it's Juan Lasal who will be taking over the opening set 25-19.
Feel the roar, stronger together we'll soar. Push through the pain, rise from the fall. Super League spirit will give it all. Rise, ignite.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Here we go, feel the passion.
25-19 was our set number 1 score. Juan Lasal, down 3 earlier, took over. And they were in the driver's seat in the latter part of set number 1, led by their middle blocker, Maya Valdez, with 4 points, and their team captain, Kylie Salada, with 5 points already.
You know, it started out very neck-to-neck battle between the two teams. Actually, minsan nga, lumalamang pa itong Perfect Set Dreammakers, but Juan Lasal really capitalized on that one time out where they bounced back and composed themselves beautifully and bounced back and really led that set, ending it to 19-25. So we see the set statistics here: 9 points coming from Perfect Set Dreammakers in attacks, while Juan Lasal had 11. Pantay naman dito with blocking, so 1-1, and also service aces 2 pero again, the errors that Perfect Set Dreammakers really gave those free points to Juan Lasal that they really took advantage of to end this set for a win.
Perfect Set Dreammakers earlier, sila ang lamang ng 3 puntos, but then after the timeout called by Coach Maya, mas nagising na itong panig ng Juan Lasal to make sure that they'll be in control of this ball game.
You know, coming from the timeout, you know, pinapag-usapan natin kung paano sila nag-adjust after it. And you really see na even if one Lasal is composed by different Lasal teams. Go ahead.
This set is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and Mojo's now.
Now, even though one Lasal is composed of different Lasal teams, you see them gelled as one. Na parang ang tagal na nilang magkakasama. But again, let's see that point. That's one Lasal gaining their first point here. Lempot now on deck to serve.
And to your point, no, itong One Lasal, their lineup is composed of players from the LaSalle Santiago Zobel, LaSalle Green Hills, the LaSalle Medical and Health Sciences Institute. So, really composition of various teams, all in one this time. And we see different set of players here in set number 2 para sa panig ng Perfect Set Dreammakers.
like they're just really taking advantage of this kind of exposure. So it's really nice because this is a perfect stage, especially for our international schools to really get and learn from one another, is to have that exposure in the playing court. And again, a service ace for Limpot this time for Juan Lasal.
This isn't the first time that Sofia Limpot delivered a service ace. I think this is the second one here in the second set. Nabanggit natin yan kanina, Richie, na usually setters yung kargado yung mga services. And I think she heard us right on cue here in the second set.
Exactly, you know, it's our first form of attack as a setter. And this time, Valdez from the opposite side of the court with a very cut attack. So good placement there, wow.
Sofia Inandan this time, earning that point.
Still in the service area, Sofia Limpot.
4-0 start para sa panig ng Juan Lasal. Another massive service handed by Sofia Limpot.
You know, it's really nice to see her develop into a really skilled volleyball player. Actually, she has an older sister also, Zoe Limpot, who played for Zobel when she was younger and UST also. So I see her grow up and watch our games from when she was just how old? I think she was like 7 years old, and now she's grown up to be such a leader inside of the court.
She's called as a point for perfect set.
A very dominating
I think there was a
second set
confusion
here, but
Yep, they thought that it was Bolivar who earned that point, but unfortunately a net touch violation was called. So that point was on the side of perfect set Dreammakers.
so that was still a good run for Juan Lasal. So this is a lucky break for the perfect set Dreammakers to bounce back and end that momentum.
Inandan with authority.
That's quickly broken as Inandan gains her second point here in the second set. Again from the opposite side of the court. And you know how nice her elevation is because she has so much hang time. There's so much time to make a decision on where she's going to angle her attacks. And another service ace coming from Juan Lasal. That will be coming from Alemania.
Still serving.
And another service ace.
Back-to-back service aces delivered here by Yaya and Alemania. They take over here in the second set, 8-1.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Back in action here in our set number 2. This is a 7-point advantage for Juan Lasal, 8-1.
Definitely a more aggressive start for Lasal here. And of course, we have new players for perfect set Dreammakers, so they may be adjusting and finding their groove here in the second set. But a net touch violation will be called on for perfect set Dreammakers, awarding that point again to Juan Lasal. Alemania still on deck to serve.
Really like how Juan Lasal has been starting their momentum from the services. Kaya nahihirapan na rin makapag-initiate ng momentum. And hopefully that first ball.
And that service was really challenging them to perfect set Dreammakers, rather, to be able to have the same kind of attack and place that we saw in the first set. because again, Alemania's serve has been very powerful, and even the finishing touches of their quick plays.
Right on the corner. That's sailed in. Another ace for Yayan.
Beautiful placement there, right in the corner. Better reception here for perfect set Dreammakers, and great placement and decision making for Barbosa.
First player to score 5 points for perfect set Dreammakers. Yan, Sina Yuni Barbosa.
And I like how she had that split decision making contact on the ball na hindi niya nalakasan. And the service ace for the perfect set Dreammakers.
That was courtesy of Juliana. First ace here in the second set.
Juliana Barron serving again.
Baron with another strong serve combination play. We're asking for a check, not granted for Celada. Puntos muli. This is a 3-0 run para sa panig ng perfect set Dreammakers.
Score is now 4-11. Perfect set Dreammakers still having that momentum with a good serve. Out of system play here with a free ball. And I think that was miscommunication within their players. So they may need to have some more energy inside the court and call their balls mine.
Wala namang yours sa volleyball. Puro mine eh, no?
Oo, wala.
Walang yours.
You have to be greedy.
And now, substitution made here. Para sa panig ng Juan Lasal. It's Bacuade who is inserted in for the first time. Also part of the Lasal Santiago Zubel.
And another service ace.
I find it interesting if it's the middle blockers who deliver service aces.
You know, more often than not, middle blockers, when they serve, it's either a floater that's short or
too long.
Or too long. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess it's
parang-
also harder for them because when you're quicker or when you're a middle blocker, your spikes are usually pababa. So as when you do your services, it's a real big adjustment for them. That's why it's very different if you're an open spiker or a middle spiker.
That Smart Powered Up play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109. Load now.
Serving for the Dreammakers.
That was Nismon Manalad scoring that point from the open.
That already sailed out, but unfortunately, it touched one of our players here from Perfect Set Dreammakers, and I think it was just a little touch, so sayang yung point. Meanwhile, Valdez na, Inandan rather, on deck to serve for Juan Lasal.
No for Lasal, or particularly with Maya Valdez. It feels unusual not to see her with her teammates, with her buddies, yung Laborte cousins. For now part of the Bacolod Taitong High School. So usually sila yung lagi kong nakikita. Parang silang triple tower ng De La Salle Santiago Zubel. Another nice ball placement para sa panig ng Juan Lasal. They've been in control here in the second set, kaya sila ang umabante ngayon ng 10 puntos, 15-5. That cross-court kill was way too deep, kaya abante muli, 16-5. Itong Juan Lasal here in set 2.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
here in the second set in the Playtime Phil Oil Arena for the 2026 Shakey Super League Juniors National Invitationals. You see here our Shakey's ambassadress, Shiny Tura, present at the venue supporting.
You know, Shiny Tura, I remember covering her a few years ago when she was still in high school, and we were already talking about how she really bloomed in Shakey's. And now we see her as our ambassadress, and it really does become such an inspiring story, not just for us who are watching her, but also the people who she's played with here, and now also the younger generation of the rising stars here in the Shakey's National Invitationals. And as we say that, that was such a beautiful attack coming from Manalad of the perfect set Dreammakers.
She was
is
just
also-
waiting
yeah,
for
she's
that
the captain. You know, trying to break this very long rally and momentum that Juan Lasal has been making. Better reception here for perfect set Dreammakers. Manalad once again.
Great save by Makasaet in that sequence. Solid denial by Maya Valdez in that sequence.
And what you like about the Salle is they're quick to adjust to their errors, and they know that Manalad is very capable of giving those powerful attacks, which is why they really had to position themselves to get that perfect block.
Like how fierce Maya Valdez was in that blocking earlier. Biggest lead extended now at 11 points. Some second stringers inserted in.
On deck to serve, team captain, Iceman Manala.
So this is just the first game of the perfect set Dreammakers. Later on, Richie, they'll be going up against University of Santo Tomas.
Okay.
Point for perfect set.
I guess it's forgivable. She just got inside of the court. She may need to warm up a little bit, but I'm hoping that she will have a redemption point sooner than later. Better service here for perfect set Dreammakers. And a free point for them, as there will be a net touch violation, overreaching violation rather, for Juan Lasal, awarding this point to perfect set Dreammakers. Manalad now on deck to serve.
So they're trying to still gel inside. Itong second stringers ni Coach Maya for Juan Lasal.
So this is a perfect opportunity for perfect set Dreammakers to really show them what they've got, and I guess it's really something that they have to still adjust on, is to be more intentional on where they place those balls, because we are seeing power, we are seeing that effort that they give, but we need to be more intentional when it comes to directing the ball where we have to place it. Ball sails out. That is a service error again for Juan Lasal. So score is now 10-17.
So for Richie, no, itong mga errors sa panic ng Juan Lasal really hurting them. Again, they were up here by as much as 11 points earlier. Aside from the right pin, picked up from behind, freebie given away for the youngsters in green. Aside once again. Great dig by Mendoza, but a double contact violation was called here.
Point for perfect set.
Better movement here for perfect set Dreammakers.
We talked about how each game really matters here in the Juniors National Invitational, since only the top 4 teams will immediately advance in the semifinals. So as much as possible, you would really want to earn wins as early as today.
Justice Makasayan.
You know, it's a very short tournament, so every game is so important. So there's really no room for errors, and I guess that pressure will also push these girls to really take in a lot of maturity and again to really stay composed and learn how to establish themselves inside of the court as early as the first set, because again, this is a best of 3 game.
Timeout. Perfect set.
This is a 9-point game. A timeout will be called here.
A little bit lower or higher? A little lower? Okay, good. So same thing, just think about it, right? It's gonna be a set, jump, catch, right? Always think about that. If you're not there, once again, where's the open spot? Area 3, area 7, it's right there. They're all spread on that, okay? Same thing, clear the net, find the court. If I say square feet is find the court. Does that make sense? Okay, come on, here we go.
That battle was powered by Smart Power All 109 low now.
So again, Coach Henry just reminding his girls to be very intentional in the placement of where they are going to place the balls and to be very wary of the net as well. So he was very analytical when it comes to pointing out spots in Juan Lasalle's court on where to place that ball properly. Reaching over the net, violation as they stepped on the line, I think, when they had the back row attack.
Sumobra na yung buwelo doon para sa panig ng perfect set Dreammakers.
But that was good placement for that attack. Medyo sumobra lang yung foot placement niya.
Vargas goes to the open. Battle at the net. Chansa. For Juan Lasalle. Backwaden from the back row.
Unfortunate error there for perfect set Dreammakers. Nakataas pa yung bola, but I think it was really just miscommunication between the players, and that's why it's so important for you to call it. You have to have confidence in every touch of the ball, because you only get 3, and as much as possible you want to attack and put pressure on the other side of the court, not give a free ball.
Justice with a solid jump serve. Sa gitna, hinatid ng bola at puntos yan para kay Naomi Barbosa.
That's exactly what we've been waiting for coming from perfect set Dreammakers. That was a better setup, and Barbosa really took advantage of that set coming from her setter.
10-point game, but only 3 points away.
Make that 2.
Itong panig ng Juan Lasalle to secure their first win here in the tournament. And again, during our elimination round, it's just gonna be best of 3 sets. So pagdating natin ng semifinals and finals, dun lang tayo magkakaroon ng best of 5 sets. There was a push. Vargas handing it over to Makasayat in that sequence.
Good setup there from their libero.
Backwaden, ball tapped, rejected at the net.
Good decision making here for the blockers of perfect set Dreammakers. You know, sometimes kasi nadedepensahan na rin ng Lasalle yung mga block points, but this time they actually tipped it. So instead of blocking it with their palms, they tipped it with their fingertips, making that ball drop right in front of them.
Backwaden this time with a powerful hit.
More errors also coming from Juan Lasalle.
Too much muscle in that hit by Backwaden.
Baron now on deck to serve for perfect set Dreammakers.
Vargas, beautiful reverse setup there.
Better coverage also here for perfect set Dreammakers.
Backwaden.
Back-to-back attack errors for Juan Lasalle. So again, these free points are things that you have to limit, especially now in the second set. You don't want to see any of it, because the more free points you give, the more confidence you give to your opponent, which is something you don't want to happen.
So Kapitana will be back in action here as they want to wrap things off early here for this ball game. It's 15 serving 23.
Service is out.
That will bring us to match point coming from that error.
Salle is now at match point.
One Salle now at match point opportunity, 24-15. Chance for them to bag their first win here in the tournament. It's with the hands of Aquino. Sharp one. Great chase. Unable to secure it pretty well. One match point save there.
That is Manala doing a cross-court hit, really challenging the defensive players of One LaSalle, extending this match still at 16-24.
Not the best reception. Salle from the back row went for that off-speed hit.
Miss set here, but good adjustment.
Vargas choosing Maya. Salle will adjust.
Perfect set, Dreammakers, saving another match point here. You know, as much as possible, you just have to put the ball in and play very basic volleyball for you to stay alive in this match. Hindi pa tapos ang game until that point reaches 25.
Napakamot ng ulo si Coach Maya dito on the sidelines for One LaSalle. Salle, they're looking for that finish for these youngsters in green. Maya Valdez with authority.
And that's exactly what we know her for. Maya Valdez ending this match with a bang.
She started her game pretty hot and she'll be ending things the sweet way para sa panig ng One LaSalle as they earn their first victory here in the Shakey Super League Juniors National Invitationals. One LaSalle winning in straight sets. Handing over perfect set Dreammakers, their first loss here in the tournament. Final scores, it's 25-19, 25-17.